Thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about the pitfalls of the retire early financial independence, what's known as the FIRE movement. Now, our last video we talked about some of the benefits and how a person can go about achieving financial independence at a young age and what it takes. And so here in this video we're going to take a look at some of the pitfalls here. So I want to thank you for watching us here. My name is Richard here with Wisdom Investor. Our goal is to help you to achieve a nest egg for retirement. Build your retirement wealth. So we're going to take a look at some of the pitfalls of this FIRE movement. There's a lot of interest on the FIRE movement, especially from folks who are making some good salaries. They're working hard, trying to retire in 10 years or so, save $1 million, and try to make that money last as long as possible. So we're going to look at some of the pitfalls of this particular movement. Okay, let's take a look at some of the pitfalls of the FIRE movement. Here's pitfall number one. Investments may not grow as fast as they have in the past. So here's the overall concept with the FIRE movement, what they want to achieve. If savings and investments can produce an equivalent after-tax earnings to your current income, and there's a chance those earnings will grow similarly to a salary or bonus, then it may work. For example, let's just say you're making $50,000 per year now. You save up $500,000. You invest your money in the stock market. It goes up by 10%. So 10% of $500,000, there's your $50,000 per year that you can match your previous income. If you had $1 million and it went up 10%, there's $100,000 income. So let's take a look at what's going on in the market right now. If you've been a retired FIRE movement person, the market has pretty much been going up since 2009. Now, you get into this year in 2018, and market's down about 15% off of the highs. And so if you had $1 million, that means, and that money was fully invested in the market, that money would be down to about $850,000. So if we get a downturn in the markets, if you have your money invested in the markets, and we get a severe downturn, I mean, the market can move down 40, 50% if things go as bad as they can be. And so 40, 50% haircut off of $1 million, now you're down to $600,000, $500,000, and that would drastically affect your returns that you receive. And I read an article the other day where a guy said that he was retired FIRE person, FIRE movement. He said, I don't really care what happens to the market. You know, if it can go down. Well, it's easy to say that when the market's going up. But when you start seeing your account drop, you start to change your tune. You get a little bit of panicky. So it can change your overall strategy. Let's just see how the market's performed in S&P 500 since 2009 up to 1 year, 26.42%, 14.93 in 2010, 2011, 2%, 2012, 15%, 2013, 32.21%, then 13.53, 1.34, then 16, 11.8, 2017, 21.69. So those are some pretty healthy returns. This year down 5.26 from year to date. It's down about 15% from the highs. So if you think the market's going to continue going straight up like this, it just won't do it. And this could drastically affect your investments if the market continues going down. So that's pitfall number one. Number two, underestimate how fast expenses can increase. So what happens is you put away your money. Let's say you've put away $700,000 and you're going to retire on that money. you put together all your numbers. You say, well, based on my expenses right now, I can make it. I've got to take my 4% rule of that, and I've got enough money. But expenses can go up faster than we realize. I know in my area, in just 4 or 5 years, rents and housing prices shot up like crazy, where a rent for a 2-bedroom apartment was, say, maybe $1,000. Now it's gone up to, say, $1,800 in just maybe 5 years. And there's other expenses, healthcare expenses, totally underestimate some of those. So number 2 is how fast expenses can increase. The number 3 pitfall here is the reduction in Social Security benefits. So if a person starts in the 30s, they say, I'm going to retire in 10 years, 15 years, say, so by 45, they quit working. They're going to give up maybe 20 years of working and building their Social Security. You may think you never need that, but if something happens, or maybe you are counting on Social Security, if you quit working at 40 and stop paying into the Social Security system, you're going to find that you're going to get quite a bit less in Social Security. And that can add up. The average Social Security payment right now is $1,500, but that sure could come in handy. I ran across someone the other day. They said they weren't paying all their tips back when they were younger, and they were pocketing that money, and they were having a great time with it. And their friend over here, who had a regular job and was putting all their money into Social Security, well, they come to retirement age, and now the person who was not claiming all their tips has less Social Security income than this other person been paying it in. So it can come back to bite you. So that's the number 3 pitfall, reduction in Social Security benefits. Okay, pitfall number 4 is burnout or overwork. These folks who are working hard to build their income and also reach their goal for retirement, they've got to work hard. And many folks will burn out before they'll ever reach their goal because they're trying so hard to do it. Now, I will say this, cutting expenses and working hard, those are good attributes. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you are over excessive in doing and trying to accomplish this goal, you can end up burning yourself out. So that's pitfall number 4. Pitfall number 5, tax penalties from withdrawing money from a 401k plan. So a lot of these folks who are in the FIRE movement are working for folks. They're getting paid good money. A lot of that money is going into their 401k, and they're counting on that money for their retirement. But if they retire when they're 35 or 45 and they need that money, they don't have that savings in cash where they can easily get to it. It's in an IRA or it's in a 401k. When you withdraw that, you can get a 10% penalty on that. So that's pitfall number 5 is tax penalties from withdrawing from your 401k. Pitfall number 6, underestimating healthcare costs. As we all know, healthcare costs are ballooning. And if you're working for a company right now and you're trying to save up your money and build your retirement nest egg, well, your company's probably paying the health insurance. That can be $700 per month or more, depending on the size of your family. If you're a single person, it's probably going to be less, but there's a lot of money there. So once you retire, you're going to get a shocking, you're going to get a shock on how much that expense is for healthcare costs, and it's probably only going to go up. So pitfall number 6, underestimating healthcare costs. Pitfall number 7, you want to make sure you have an emergency fund. But if you don't have an emergency fund, you have an unexpected expense. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's a house issue, maybe it's health. That can cost you a lot of money. So you've got to have an emergency fund. If you don't have the emergency fund, an unexpected expense, that's going to come out of your nest egg. So pitfall number 7, unexpected expense. Pitfall number 8 is lack of investment experience. Now we talked about what's happening here in the markets. And so now you've got your money in the market. It's been going great until the last 3 months or so, and now it's moving lower. And so what do you sell your funds out here to protect yourself? And then the moment you sell, the market moves back higher. So how are you going to manage your money when you have a tough time like this? And you're really not an investor. You're really great at working. You're great at what you do. You're an expert at what you do. But now you need to manage your money. So I guess you could let a broker take care of that for you. And of course, they're going to charge you for that. And so that kind of gets you away from this FIRE movement where you try to cut as much cost as you possibly can. So that is pitfall number 8. Lack of investment experience. Pitfall number 9. Lack of planning. You make a decision to quit your job on emotion versus really having your plan put together. So I know there's a lot of folks, everybody likes financial independence. Everybody likes to win the lottery. Everyone wants to have plenty of money so that they don't have any worries. Okay, so a person that's doing the FIRE movement is trying to invest and put away money, but there may be this emotional driving force behind them they got to leave that job. They just want to stop working for the company they're working with. They just want to get on their own as quickly as possible. They've got some other friends doing this also. They're having a good time doing their own thing, but they don't plan well enough. It's an emotional decision to leave that job. So that would be our pitfall number 9. Pitfall number 10 is health concerns from overwork. Most of these folks are working hard and pinching pennies at the same time. And so overwork can lead to stress and it can lead to sickness. We kind of talked about that as an unexpected expense, healthcare costs, but overwork, it can definitely lead to extra stress and sickness. So health concerns from overwork, pitfall number 10. So these are 11 pitfalls that we came up with here for those that are trying to do the retire early, financial independence, FIRE movement. There's nothing wrong with, again, making good money and saving expenses. However, if this program is done to an excessive degree where it causes sickness, lack of planning, and just not prepared, then these pitfalls here that we just talked about can be a detriment to a person. So I want to thank you for watching. Leave your comments. You can find us here at Wisdom Investor.